Implementing sound SMSF estate planning policies is more important than ever, given legal proceedings relating to this area continue to rise. Tracey Besters from the Strategy Hub joins me right now to talk about this subject. Hi, Tracey, how you going?
I'm well, Darren. Thanks for having me.
That's great. Well, if we're looking at estate planning, maybe we should discuss when is a good time to start. Like, what's a good starting point?
Well, funny question that one, Darren, because the good starting point is at the beginning, right? So, when you first commence the SMSF, it's always a good time to think about, well, what happens if you're no longer here, and what do you want to see happen when you're no longer here? So, start at the beginning when you first establish the SMSF, and then, of course, revisiting that plan anytime your life circumstances change. So, it's not a set and forget.
Yep, no, definitely not when you consider how your life cycle of the fund and yourself will change along the line. Now, Tracy, you've identified five key areas for trustees when they're looking at estate planning. I'm not asking you to go through all five, but what are some of the things that you've recognized?
Yeah, well, I think the first one, Darren, well, actually not the first one, but let's just like frame it in the sense of estate planning, in my view, or putting together your wishes on what you want to see happen with your superannuation benefits when you're no longer here, is all about protecting your family. So it's really about what do you want to see happen? And one of the crucial elements of that is control of those decisions. So if you're no longer here, you can't enact your decisions yourself because you won't be here. So you've really got to entrust somebody, whether that's your spouse or children or whoever, to be able to enact those decisions for you. So control is a really crucial one. Who is it that you want to have that control, and who will help to follow through on your decision making? And documentation, of course, is then the next crucial thing. So how do we document everything so that it can fulfill what you want it to fulfill?
Yeah, yeah, great points there. Now, I know that you've probably identified and lived through some pretty horrific estate planning situations. What are some of the things or a major mistake people make in this area?
Yeah, so yes, Darren, there's some more stories, and it kind of sounds a bit morbid to be wanting to share some war stories with everyone at Trustee Day, but I think some of the good ways of sharing what not to do is to give some examples about what's happened with other families. And one of the major things that people make a mistake with in this estate planning is to not do it at all. So it just gets left to somebody else who to make decisions. And maybe that is your plan. Maybe that is your well thought out plan that you're going to leave it to everybody else to work through. And that's okay if that's what your plan is. But to not do anything at all is one of the mistakes. And the second mistake is to think that your superannuation benefits are going to be dealt with under your will. That comes up time and time and time again. So one of the myths that we'll dispel with the Trustee Roadshow, Darren, is to say to people, this does not form part of your will automatically. So your superannuation benefits and your will are two different things, and we need to make sure that we treat them as such. So we've got to have something in place for the superannuation fund.
Yeah. Now, Tracy, you did mention start at the start, so maybe when you establish a fund, this is what you should be considering. If you don't, what are some of the trigger points that might then jog you into action if you're a trustee to say that I really need to get some estate planning strategies in place?
Yeah. So I think, Darren, that it really comes down to, if you start a family, if one of the people that you wanted to leave your death benefits to passed away, and so therefore they're not a beneficiary any longer, if you have a relationship breakdown, if you buy a certain particular type of asset, if the asset grows in value, if you take out new insurances, if you change career, if you change country, there's lots of trigger points along the way. And I think the most important thing is to regularly remind yourself or ask yourself, if you are no longer here, what do you want to see happen with your superannuation benefits? So every time you have a different answer to that question is the time to change your estate planning.
Great point. Thanks for the discussion, Tracy. That was great.
Good. Thanks, Darren. Look forward to sharing more at the Trustee Brochure.
As Tracy alluded to, she'll be examining this subject further at the SMSF Trustee Empowerment Day, co-hosted by SMS Trustee News and the SMSF Association. We will be presenting in Sydney on the 16th of September and in Melbourne on the 18th of September. To find out more about the event and register, please reference the details you can see on screen now. Well, that was a great chat, Tracy, and I'm looking forward to your presentation at the SMSF Trustee Empowerment Day.
Thanks so much, Darren. Me too.